Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, The Edge of Destruction, the third Doctor Who story from Season 1 and the very third story overall. According to the booklets, due to the fact that they had a 2-episode gap between what would have been the Daleks and Marco Polo, because they were only at the moment allowed 13 episodes, and they could stretch the Daleks to a 9. God, I think it should have been 6, not... Gosh, if it was 9, good grief. Almost as long as the War Games. So, yeah. So, thank goodness they didn't do that, nor did they stretch Marco Polo to a 9. An 8, maybe? Might have worked at an 8, although I think it should have been 6. But 8 might have worked for Marco Polo, but I don't think it would have worked for the Daleks. So, this 2-part story was filled to take its place, and then obviously they got the go-ahead to do Marco Polo and the rest of the series. But this episode was a very good fill the gaps story. It also works as a character development for the four main characters. It's also the only story in the show to be completely TARDIS based, apart from the last scene when Susan and Barbara are outside, which leads into Marco Polo. All the other TARDIS-based stories in the show have at least a couple of scenes outside the TARDIS, like Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS. You've got the scenes on the Three Brothers ship, and them bringing the TARDIS in. Invasion of Time, episodes 5 and 6 are very TARDIS-based, but they still got to get to the TARDIS first, and also the first 4 episodes are mostly Gallifreyan based. It's mostly a Gallifrey based story with TARDIS based for the last 2 episodes as well. And I don't think there's been many other episodes that have gotten to the same level as TARDIS based stories as this, or Journey, or Invasion parts 5 and 6. But that's Invasion of Time. But yeah, I mean, there's other stories out there, expanding media, like The Big Finish, Audio, No Place Like Home. That was completely TARDIS based. No exceptions. So, yeah, there's probably others out there, but I don't think there's that many. I'd like to see another TARDIS-based story at some point, but oh well, it probably wouldn't be a very long story, come to think of that. I mean, Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS is 45 minutes, and it can even do the entire TARDIS for 45 minutes. This is about 47, apparently. And apart from the last scene, it is completely TARDIS-based. Anyway, so, the plot. Something's wrong with the TARDIS. What isn't? And so, a fault with its control, basically spoiling the plot here, a fault with its control causes the TARDIS to malfunction, act a bit strange, and it's basically trying to warn the travellers that there's something wrong with it. However, it's doing it in the worst way possible by knocking them out, making them forgetful, making them turn on each other at points, getting them a bit violent, and giving them plenty of shakes and problems. The closest things it's actually doing to actually getting itself fixed properly is the screens where it's showing something nice if it's a good thing, and something nasty, which apparently looks like Skaro, by the looks of it, if it's something bad. So the TARDIS is being very unhelpful for the 4 travellers to actually try and fix it, and then move on to where they need to go next, which is 13th century China, I think. I think it's 13th century China. Could be 12th. So yeah. So the TARDIS is being a bit silly in this one. Let's say it's unwell and it's throwing a strop, and it's causing lots of problems for its 4 travellers. Yeah. But this does give the chance for the characters to develop themselves and interact with each other across 47 minutes. But yeah, I suppose on a logical basis it doesn't work, but the execution is very good and it makes a lot of sense. I think the best character in this story is probably Barbara, as she's the one who figures out the problem and is also the one who goes through the most shit, basically, in this story. I'm really liking Barbara on these rewatches. She gets even better in Keys and Marinus, but on this rewatch, she was a really great character. I think Ian was a great character so far. He's probably been the best character so far, but now Barbara's trying to catch up with him, and the Doctor, by the end, has probably started to develop into the Doctor we know and love today. As for Susan, I think she gets the least development out of everyone across the entire show. I'm sorry, Susan gets the least development of the 4 main characters in the first 10 stories. I don't know why, mostly what she does is scream and cry at times, and other times other times she's alright. I don't know what it is, they just didn't develop her very well. The other 3, they developed very well, but not Susan for some reason. I think she's good in this one, though. And also the Daleks and Marco Polo, but yeah, I just don't think she had very good development in the series, apart from maybe the last 2 stories she was in next season. So, yeah, season 1 is a weak time for Susan. Season 2 is a bit better. And 5 Doctors. Not Dimensions in Time, though. Dimensions in Time ruins the character development from her final 3 stories, which are Planet of Giants, Dalek Invasion of Earth, and 5 Doctors. Other expanded media might do it better. So, anyway, Edge of Destruction. Pretty short story. If you've got an hour and you don't want to watch a new series story, you may as well put this one on, unless you want Sontaran Experiment or one of the 5th Doctor ones, not Resurrection of the Daleks. You only be able to see 1 episode of that, or Trial of a Time Lord parts 13 and 14. There's not many 2-parters in the series besides from season 22. And you've got this. Then you've got Sontaran Experiment, which is basically season 12. Then the next 2-part story that is Black Orchid. Then it's King's Demons. Then it's not Frontiers, it's The Awakening. Skip Resurrection of the Daleks. Skip season 22. Ultimate Foe. That's it. You've only got a couple of 2-part stories, and to be honest, not all. I think the weakest is the King's Demons. That is a pretty weak one. We'll get to those later, though. So, but anyway, I think the Edge of Destruction is one of the stronger ones, in all honesty. Yeah. So, that's the Edge of Destruction. That was a very good story. It's not perfect, though. I think the TARDIS Framers drop is not being very helpful to them is a bit of a problem with the story logic. And it's not an amazingly played out story. I think it's well paced, though. Although I think it is a bit quick in the second half. I think if this was a 3-parter, it would be a bit better paced. Oh god, some episodes have to be shorter to be better paced. Other episodes have to be longer to be better paced. Jeez, we can't always be satisfied, can we? And yeah, this problem continues with the next story as well. So anyway, I'm going to be scoring the Edge of Destruction 8 out of 10. Yeah, a very good story. I think it's my personal favourite of the entire beginning box set. I don't know. I think the Daleks is probably the best story, but Edge of Destruction is my personal favourite of the 3. It's personal preference. Apologies, but yeah, I do think it's a very good box set, though, and definitely a very worthy. Well, if you want to get the box set, it's very worthy because you get the first 3 stories, of course. As for the stories themselves, they're also very good, especially Edge of Destruction. For me personally, I found that very good, and The Daleks is also a very good story written. An Unearthly Child, I think. Part 1 is great. Parts 2 to 4, and Pilot, it depends on your cup of tea. But personally, I think Edge of Destruction is my favourite, and The Daleks possibly might be the best written. So yeah, that's it from The Edge of Destruction. Now we'll be moving on to story number 4, which is Marco Polo. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nick Payne Extra YouTube channel. Hello ladies and gentlemen. As the stories themselves, they're very good. It's